What's up, Big Talk Nation? Melissa and Roger Adkins coming at you from the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut for our 7th episode of Melissa and Roger's Wildlife. We are very excited to have an opportunity to sit down and chat today with our favorite drummer from our favorite band. And before we jump into our questions with Jordan, though, from Slaughter, we are going to once again extend a huge heartfelt thank you to our buddies John and our other Jordan in our life for giving us this incredible opportunity and for welcoming us into the Big Talk family.
Absolutely. Again, with that favorite thing, though.
Absolutely, and I make no apologies for it.
Fair enough. We're going to begin by giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself for any of our listeners who may not be as familiar with your resume. So if you will, just state your name, how long you've been in the music industry, and any other musical projects you're currently working on.
Okay, well, I'm Jordan Cannata, and I'm apparently Roger and Melissa's favorite.
Yes.
Thank you. I love you guys. No, I love you guys. I've been with Slaughter for about almost 4 years now. Before that, I was in multiple bands, Adrenaline Mob, Tokyo Motor Fist, J-Rad. I did a lot of fill-in stuff for Doro and Lynch Mob. I've done a lot of that kind of thing, but I've been with Slaughter for a little while now, and it's home sweet home for me.
Beautiful, love that. So let's go ahead and get started. How old were you when you first began playing, and how long would you say it took you to become proficient?
I started when I was 8. How long it took to become proficient? The answer to that is I don't think I am proficient.
We're all in trouble.
You can go and play with your feet in time. Okay, I think you can say you're proficient now.
It's just that it's a never-ending thing. You're always learning. You're always coming up with new things that you can improve on, always trying to find new ways to get better. Not necessarily even just to get better, but just new things that you could learn just so you could become more creative even. So, I've been performing for a long time. I did my first gig when I was 11. And I've been able to get on stage and do that for the majority of my life. But I started when I was 8 years old, and I started taking lessons immediately, which a lot of people are self-taught for a little while. So maybe because I had lessons and I had someone guiding me, that might have helped me move a little faster, But I'd say that, it took a few years before I was really comfortable. At least it took a few years, for sure.
Okay.
Who were your greatest musical influences, and what specifically made you want to be in a band?
Oh, wow. Okay. Person who made me want to play drums, Ringo Starr.
Okay.
I was a Beatles fanatic. Loved the Beatles, loved Ringo. So that right out of the gate was what got me going. And because I got started on all the classic rock stuff. My dad gave me and my brother his collection of CDs and cassettes when I was like 5 years old. He just gave us a whole bin of music and said, here you go. So I found all of that kind of stuff really early. Everything from 60s and 70s and 80s just kind of all mixed into one giant collection. That's what got me really started, and Ringo was what I was obsessed with. But I would say that moving forward, I fell in love with Neil Peart. I fell in love with Mike Portnoy. And then later on in life, I discovered Morgan Rose, who to this day is probably my favorite drummer. Seven Dust, that band I'm a huge fan. I love everything that they do, and he's been a huge influence on me.
Beautiful. So how old were you when you attended your first concert, and who did you see?
I was 5 years old, and I went to see the Allman Brothers at the Beacon Theater in Manhattan with my dad and my brother. And it was an interesting night. That was also the first time that anybody blew weed in my face. My dad got very mad at the people in front of us for doing it.
At the tender age of 5.
But yeah, my first show was the Allman Brothers. Yeah, and it was awesome. I'll never forget it. Never forget it.
What was your favorite concert you attended, and what's the one band you wish you had the opportunity to see?
That is impossible. Oh, man.
We're here for the hard questions.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I mean, some shows that really stand out. The first time I saw Seven Dust, like I said, I'm a huge fan of that band, and the first time I saw them was unbelievable. When I was a kid, I saw Aerosmith. They blew my mind. I saw Journey, and they blew my mind when I was a kid. Later on, one of the best shows I've seen in probably the past 10 years was Johnny Lang. He was unbelievable. Man, that's a tough call. I mean, there's just some shows that you just leave and you're just in awe of them for like a week. I mean, I'm sure you guys know you've been to more shows than I have. So, but just sometimes you just like the show hits you and it doesn't stop hitting you for a week or even longer, you know. So there's just so many of them that do that. Alice in Chains was a good one. One of the first time I saw them, and the first time I saw Velvet Revolver, that was a big one too for me.
Okay.
Bands that I wish I got to see. I mean, I told you I was obsessed with the Beatles, right? So it would have been amazing to see that. I would have loved to have been able to see Alice in Chains before Lane Staley passed. I never got to see them before that. And any others? I mean, there's too many. I wish I had a time machine, you know? I wish I could go. Well, hold on. So what, you guys like all the older music too, though. What's one that you wish you could have seen? Your listeners need to know about you.
Oh, well, we can answer questions anytime. I think for us, and you'll see that there's a question in here later, but we're actually still trying to get a bucket list together for what is still possible, because we have had so many recommendations that we still haven't got to for that are possibilities. But for me, I think the biggest one probably is Aerosmith. We were going to try to go to see Aerosmith, and then something happened with, I think it was Steven's Voice at the time.
It was Steven's Voice, and literally the tickets were sold out before I could even click it.
Right. The only thing that
the queue
was available was like behind the stage seating, and there were literally like the seats that we would have been behind a post. So we would have been hearing
and
but not seeing.
Yeah. Right.
But so, you know, we knew that it was a no anyway, but then the show didn't even happen. So.
Yeah. That's a good answer though. Because I said I saw them when I was a kid and it blew my mind. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
So, who was your greatest supporter when you first stepped out into the world of entertainment?
Oh, my parents, hands down. That's an easy question. My parents have always been that way. The moment I told them that I wanted to play an instrument, they were, sure, let's do it.
I love it.
Then the next birthday, drums were there. You know,
Aww.
they've been that way since the very beginning. I've never had any issue with family. They've always been right there the whole time. They're here today.
Oh, wonderful. That's the way it should be. Love it.
What is the best and worst part about life on the road as an entertainer?
Worst part, lack of sleep. Definitely.
We've heard that answer before.
That's definitely the worst part. I mean, honestly, the best part really is just getting to meet new people and see new places. You know, it's something that not everybody gets a chance to do in life, and we're lucky enough that we get to see all these different places around the country, around the world, and beyond that, you know, you're always getting to meet new people. You know, it's how I met you guys, right? And then so many of those people become more than just, you know, people you met at a show or fans. They become friends, and it's not a common thing for someone to be able to say that they have friends all over the world. You know, and we're in a unique and lucky position to be able to say that, and, you know, fly somewhere, you know, in the country and be greeted by somebody, you know, a familiar face. It's an unusual and really cool thing, you know. So that's definitely the best part, is just the people, the places, getting to experience it. That's hands down.
Love that answer. Very nice. Okay, so what is the key to allowing your musical influences to shine through in your craft while simultaneously ensuring that you develop your own unique sound?
Whew. I think it's almost impossible for your influences not to come out. I think it's impossible because it's part of how you develop your own sound, is by taking the things that you're influenced by, mixing them, molding them together, finding the things that you like from each individual person or band or whatever it was, and it just kind of naturally all of that kind of molds together and becomes your sound.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of inevitable when it comes to the influences. Trying to give yourself some originality beyond that. I mean, again, it's the mixture of all of that coming together. Like, for example, if I said I was influenced by Seven Dust and the Beatles, those are two very different things.
Sure.
So when you mix those things together, something different is going to come out of it.
Uh-huh.
And then the same thing, I'm a huge Tower of Power fan, which sounds nothing like what we do in Slaughter. Mm-hmm. But because that's such a big influence on me, there's no way that it's not going to come out at some points in my playing.
Sure.
So all of that mixing together is a big part of what makes, I think, somebody's sound themselves, unique. But beyond that, and then honestly, I think too, just the more you learn on your instrument and finding the little, even if it's just little patterns that you just find that you like to play or whatever, it helps you become a little more creative and find new things that you didn't necessarily hear before. So for me, it was definitely a mixture of just taking from all the musicians that I love, plus just the more that I learned from a technical standpoint on my instrument, that I was able to say, ooh, I like that. How do I mold that into what I already do? And so on and so forth. So it's a little mixture of all that.
Okay.
What is your favorite song to play live and why?
That is tough. Favorite to play live? I mean, I love all the stuff that's just super high energy. That's a big part of what I like about being a drummer. Mm-hmm. I get to hit things with sticks for a living. I mean, that's kind of awesome. But I think from two different standpoints. Like, for me, as just a drummer who just wants to get up there and have fun and go nuts, songs like Mad About You, Wildlife, Burning Bridges, those songs are just super high energy and fun to play. But when we get up and play a song like Fly to the Angels, the reaction that you get from the people, mm-hmm. It's something that I never got to feel before until I joined this band. Uh-huh. And to get to see and feel what's coming off of the audience and back to us, it's something that I never experienced before, because people have such a deep connection to that song. Mm-hmm. So when you get the emotions coming from them, it's a special feeling that's hard to describe, and it's something that I never really got a chance to understand until I joined this band and got on stage and did that song. So that's always special. But just from a typical just playing standpoint, probably, Mad About You, Burning Bridges, those are just super energy, super fun.
Okay. Very cool. In any group you've been affiliated with, have there been songs that you've played for an audience and the reaction wasn't quite what you expected? Like, in terms of it being a bigger hit than anticipated, or maybe receiving an underwhelming reaction to a song you really love performing?
Well, I mean, in this band, it's a unique situation because obviously I came in much later, right? So this band, the songs have been around for a very long time. Everyone knows what the biggest hits are, right? So there was when I came into this, I knew that the crowd was going to react to Fly to the Angels and react to Up All Night, right? Like, I know what the songs are that are the biggest hits. In previous bands, yes and no. I would definitely say I was surprised on occasion with Adrenaline Mob when we would go out and do certain things that got reactions. Specifically, because that was another band that I wasn't the original drummer in. So when I came on board, I was a little nervous joining that band because the drummers that were in it before me, they were really, successful, amazing drummers, some, heroes of mine, Mike Portnoy and AJ Perro. So I was a little nervous walking in, and I kind of thought that the album that I had done would never get the reaction that the albums from before me. And so when we went out and we started playing songs off of that album, We the People, King of the Ring, stuff like that, and the crowd was really starting to, fall in love with it, it was relieving for me for sure, but also kind of unexpected because I was expecting most of the people to come in and just be chanting for the previous songs. And it wasn't the case out of the gate. And so that was kind of surprising to me. But yeah, in this band, I can't really say that there's any surprises because, they've been established for so much longer than I've been involved. So we all know what the big hits are from this band. We know what the fan favorites are. Every now and then you get somebody who likes a song that's more of a, an album track or something that most people don't know. But the vast majority of people, we know which songs are their favorites.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What routines, tips, and tricks do you swear by to help you stay at the top of your game?
Tips, tricks, eat a lot of cookies.
Eat a lot of cookies.
No,
I eat a lot of cookies and I still can't draw. What's going on here?
No, honestly, I mean, for me actually, and this is maybe not the answer that you would get out of most musicians, but for me, focusing on my health and my fitness is the biggest part for me.
Okay.
Because my whole thing is that I like going out on stage and being super energetic. It's what I enjoy doing. It's what the crowds love from us. It's just our job is to make sure that people have a fun time and to have a really good high energy rock show. So for me, maintaining my fitness is a big part of what allows me to do that from night to night consistently, and hopefully with longevity as well. So, and I practice all the time. I never stopped. Whenever obviously when we're on the road, it's a little hard, but when I'm home, I play drums every day. Before we go on stage, I have a drum pad and you guys have seen it. I do warm-up drills before every single show for at least 20 minutes, at least if I can. And so nothing really out of the ordinary. I focus a lot on my fitness and my diet. I focus a lot on making sure that I keep running my speed and stamina drills on my drums and on drum pads, stretching and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. I don't really have any other random or unique methods.
Well, whatever it is, it's certainly working. Yes.
Well, thank
you. We don't see too many other drummers come out like a spider monkey and climb up.
Spider monkey, that's a new one. I haven't heard that. I like that. Spider monkey, that's
climb
good.
Up on the kid. I mean, haven't seen it out of anybody but you. But so, what is the secret to becoming fully comfortable and confident in front of an audience?
I am the wrong person to ask that question to.
No.
No, I am the wrong person to ask that question to because since I was a little kid, I've always been a ham. For real. Like I have always been too comfortable in front of people. That's just the way that I am. I am impossible to embarrass. It just doesn't happen. So, listen, I mean...
So just be born with it.
There you go.
Unfortunately for me, that kind of is the case. Because, I mean, listen, you talk to people who have known me for years, they'll gladly tell you all sorts of crazy stories, of me running down I-95 in standstill traffic completely naked during the day. It happened when I was a kid, probably a teenager. So my point is, I've never felt uncomfortable in front of a crowd. So that's what I'm saying. I'm the wrong person to ask this question to. Honestly, I've never really had stage fright, so to speak. If anything, I've had some the first time you do you do your first show, you get a little nervous, right? Some butterflies or whatever, and then you do next level. Instead of playing a bar, you're playing a bigger club, and you get a little nervous again, and then you move to a theater, and you get a little nervous, right? So there were always times where you get sometimes those nervous butterflies can happen, But for me, for the longest time, and again, I've been playing in front of people since I was 11.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it since I was a kid. So for me, if I get some sort of butterflies, they're more excitement than they are nerves.
Okay.
I've never really dealt with being nervous in front of a crowd, except for the first time that I played piano in front of a crowd, because I don't normally do that. Drums are my thing. It's what I do. It's what I'm confident in. The first time I had to play piano in front of an audience, because it's not something I normally do, I got a little nervous. But it was more just typical nerves of like, don't mess it up. Not so much like afraid of being in front of people. I've never been a shy person that way, so I'm bad to ask that question too.
95.
Yeah, it was not my best moment.
It's okay, we've all.
Luckily, it was before smartphones were everywhere.
There you go. As long as there's no photographic evidence, right?
Thankfully.
Have you played any locations or venues that particularly stood out and became a favorite, or do they all kind of just run into a blur?
Honest answer, most of them do run into a blur because we do it so much, and but some do stand out. Usually a place will stand out more because something happened there,
Sure.
that like an event that you remember, but some places actually do, and ironically for me, this one, Mohegan Sun Arena. This one's big for me because I live only a few hours from here, and when I was a kid, and even up until I was probably late teens, my grandmother, again, I told you my family was always really supportive. My grandmother was really supportive of my brother and I too, and she used to kind of keep track of what bands we liked. Mm-hmm. And when she saw that a band we liked was coming here, she would buy tickets, and she would take my brother and up here for like 2 days. She would go have fun at the casino or whatever, mm-hmm. and we would go to the show. And then we'd go out to dinner together or whatever. So I've been coming to this venue since I was a kid with my grandma, but she never got to see me play here. So coming here, I can't come here without thinking about my grandmother.
Yeah.
So this one in particular, ironically, is a big one for me. And then, I mean, others, there's so many places where you get there and it's just a really beautiful venue that's awesome, or, one that's like, oh, your favorite, sports team plays there or something like that. So there's a lot of them that are really cool, but it is kind of ironic that we're sitting in a big one for me right now.
Yeah, and I love that it just kind of the stars aligned, because we've been
to do this here.
Yeah, we've been trying to get this.
I know we've been trying to do this for a while, and I am not good with scheduling.
No, but it was just meant to work out and be this way. I think, yeah, it was supposed to be done here. I agree. Okay, so what would you say are the most crucial components that go into a song that elicit an emotional response that's felt rather than something that's simply heard?
Wow, that's deep. Okay.
It's the psychology major in me.
Yeah, for real. No, I like it. This is good. That's not a question that I would normally get. I mean, in a lot of cases, I think that you kind of need that perfect storm of a lot of things just happening the right way, and it doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
I mean, first thing is that, the lyrics need to connect with people, right? Mm-hmm. You need to have a topic that people can relate to. And usually that's not something that comes about in a way that is really super premeditated. Usually that's something because whoever's writing the song, they went through it, or they had that emotion that they're talking about, or they went through something and they decided to put it down on paper. And when that happens and then it finally gets out there, you start to realize, like, oh wow, there's millions of other people that have had that same kind of incident, or just that same emotion, or whatever it is. So I think with most people, the lyrical content probably is what connects the most when it comes to the emotion. But for me too, it's hard to say, because the music in itself also can do that. I mean, whenever we play, right, like, you kind of are letting out how you feel, even though you're not actually saying it. And so I would say for the general population, it's probably mainly the lyric, and then making sure that lyric is, performed with, a melody that's, catchy or whatever like that. But I think that you can just tell when somebody's got an emotion when they're playing. You know, like when someone is playing, you know, a guitar part and they're just letting every note, just you could tell when they're putting every ounce of energy they have into just one note, you know, versus someone who's just going through the motions. And so when you get that perfect storm of somebody had a great idea for their lyric plus a melody, and then you've got a team of musicians behind them who are just putting every ounce of themselves into every note they play, it's hard to land that all the time. You never know, you know. But I think in general, just having a great melody and a great idea for a vocal that clicks with people, that's really the biggest part, you know. And then just finding ways to make sure that everybody has their room to do it. You know, you don't want to go in and overplay a part or underplay a part. You know, if someone brings me a song, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is not just it's a cool drum part. Is this part going to make what you're doing better? Is this part going to help your part better? So when you have a team of people who are all thinking that way, and at least somebody in there had a really good idea, that's it.
I love it. Beautiful and very thorough answer.
I hope.
It was great.
It might have been an idiotic answer. I don't know. No. Again, I just hit things for a living.
Oh, man. Did you ever become discouraged as an artist due to certain trends or other aspects of the entertainment industry? And if so, what made you push through and continue performing?
Sure. I mean, I think that I don't think I've met anybody who hasn't had their moments of doubt, you know? I mean, listen, it's a hard industry to break into. I mean, there are millions of people who are uber talented who never really become known, you know, because there can be an element of luck involved. You know, some people just don't know how to get their music out there, you know. But so, you know, it's not a quick thing. You know, there's very few of the artists that become. Well, I'm not even talking about, you know, mega pop stars, but just people who get to the point where they can make a living as a musician, right? It's very rarely is it one of these moments where you just get discovered quickly. People are working at it forever. You know, I mean, like I said, I've been performing since I was 11, you know, and I knew it was what I wanted to do from that point on. So even though I was a kid, I've been working toward this goal since I was, I started drumming at 8, and I probably, by the time I was 10, I knew it was what I wanted to do, you know? So I've been working really hard to get there for a very long time, and it didn't really happen for years and years and years, and you just keep taking every little step you can. And, you know, I'm more of a rock guy. I love different types of music. I love funk, and I love R&B and soul and, you know, rock and pop and metal and all these different genres. But for the most part, what I've become known for is what I do in the rock and or metal world. And so there's definitely been periods in my life where, at least where I lived, that rock wasn't the big thing, you know? So it was a little harder to kind of find an avenue to do what I do, because there were less opportunities where I was. You know, and it's like, okay, you got to travel outside of there and go to the places where it's still a thing, you know? So, you know, and then there's always setbacks. You know, you have, you know, even if it's a personal issue in life that takes you away from drumming for a little while, or an injury or something like that, you know? So there have been moments where you never know what's going to happen. You know, I mean, I got injured years ago, and honestly, for a little while, didn't even know if I'd ever be able to pick up a pair of sticks again. So when that happened, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was fortunate that I was able to pick them back up and worked really hard to get back to where I am. But, you know, plenty of situations where it's becomes difficult and you start to wonder, like, is this worth it? You know, but the thing that, and it sounds kind of cliche, and I know, and I've heard this answer many times, but the truth is, it's a cliche for a reason. You just have to remember that you're doing it because you love it. I think if you get to that point where you're just worried about making money doing it, just worried about becoming successful or getting your name out there or getting an endorsement deal or whatever it is, that's when your playing starts to suffer. That's when your mentality starts to suffer. But if you just remember, like, I just like sitting down and playing my instrument. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's drums or the oboe. Like if you like playing it, just keep doing it.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I did. And that whenever I was in a situation where I felt like I was, you know, in a bad place mentally as far as the career goes, that's where it all came back to. It's just, you know, listen to the bands I like and go, I just like making music.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a hard thing to take when you're trying to turn it into a career as well, you know, because you do reach a point where you have to think about it as a business, not just as a passion.
Sure.
But in the end, though, no matter what, the passion has to be there. And so whenever I was in a situation like that, I would just kind of try to revert to that idea of it doesn't matter what happens. You like playing drums, just keep playing drums. Mm-hmm. That was what it was.
I love that. Okay. What would you say is the reason music has the ability to unify such a diverse group of people while most other aspects of life tend to cause divide?
Because it's a universal language.
Okay.
It's universal. It's how many things where you go around the world, everybody speaks different languages, but the notes on a piano and a guitar are still the same.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The drums still make the same sounds. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. That is 100% universal. Everybody understands it. Everybody can relate to it.
Yeah.
So, and everybody is drawn to it. I mean, from the beginning of human history,
Yeah.
cavemen were making drums, you know. So for me, that's I think what it is. It's just that I think, to my knowledge, there are only two universal languages, music and math.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how many people get emotional over math, but they certainly do over music.
Only if
Just
it's
angry.
a bad emotion, right?
Just angry over math.
Fair enough.
We were told there would be none, right?
There will be a quiz at the end of this.
Oh no. What would you say was the biggest obstacle that you faced over the course of your career, and how did you overcome it? Was it the pop quiz at the end of this?
It's the pop quiz. Absolutely. For me, I mean, after I was involved in an accident years ago, I told you I had got injured. So coming out of that and trying to literally just physically be able to play again, for me was the hardest part, you know. But I mean, in general, I think it's just because it's a choice to kind of follow a life that's surrounded by uncertainty. You know, you never really know if you're going to be able to make it happen. You never really know if once it does happen, if it'll last.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of uncertainty in this kind of lifestyle, and not just for musicians. I think anybody who's chasing after a dream, especially in a creative field, whether you're talking about being a musician, an actor, a painter, whatever it is, there's a lot of uncertainty. You never know if what you're doing is going to turn into a career, you know, and then once you do hit something, you never know how long it's going to last, or, you know, so that uncertainty is always difficult to deal with, I think, because you always have to try to be focused on making sure that you can keep pushing forward into the future. But like I said, for me, at least, I was lucky to have a very supportive family. I know a lot of people didn't, you know, I know a lot of people don't. Some people just, they don't understand the choice to chase after this kind of dream, you know, and it's not for everybody, you know. It's a lifestyle that, you know, we live out of suitcases, you know, we're in different places every other day, you know, we are sacrificing sleep very often, you know. I mean, it's not always an easy lifestyle, but you get on that stage and you see the smiles on all those people's faces. There's literally nothing better than that. It's the greatest feeling to know that however many people are in that crowd, whether you're playing to 10 people or 10,000 people, you're making them forget their problems for an hour. You're helping them deal with whatever their issues are in life, and you're helping them just have a good time, and you're letting your emotions out at the same time. So it's like, despite the fact that it can be very difficult to deal with the uncertainty of this type of life, those moments make it 110% worth it. 110%. So yeah, I don't know.
A risk worth taking. I like it. I like it. Okay, so this might seem like a really odd question, but it's made for some funny stories in our previous interviews. Have
All right.
you ever been injured on stage?
every other show. All the time. I mean, listen, I've had broken drumsticks go in the eye. I've had, slam and dislocate a finger, pop it back in to finish the set. When you jump on the drum kit every night, you're bound to, roll an ankle or something at some point.
Okay.
I've never had a major injury on stage. Bad question before a show. Bad question. I'm knocking on wood. People are jinxing me. But I mean, as far as minor injuries. I mean, listen, sticks break, you get cuts and slices, cymbals cut you. It happens constantly. I mean, very often.
Drums are just dangerous.
In general, yeah.
For me, it's a full contact sport. For me, it is absolutely, no doubt about it. I mean, listen, you headbutt your drums and cymbals enough, you're gonna cut your head. It's just the way it goes.
That's fair.
So for all the mamas out there listening, wanting to make the decision between flag football and drums, I don't know.
Buy them drums. Buy them drums. Do it now.
Still buying drums.
Buy them drums. Do it.
Just get them a bicycle.
I promise.
We'll learn with.
Just wear a helmet. That's all. Some visors, some goggles.
What is your proudest moment as an artist?
Oof, that's tough. I mean, that's hard because there's so many different aspects to what we do. I mean, it's we're musicians, but there's the creative side, there's the performing side, right? So on the performing side, getting to go up on a stage like tonight, right? There's just this big arena and getting to do that, it feels like the pinnacle, right? Just getting up in front of this crowd, this sea of people that you almost can't even see the people all the way in the back. It feels amazing to get up and know that many people are invested in what you're doing and care about what you're doing. So from the performance aspect, getting on a huge stage like this is amazing. But then there's the creative side where you couldn't be more proud of a song that you wrote. Even if whether it was one that became a hit or not, right? Obviously before I joined, I mean, we all know that I'm the baby of Slaughter, right? But, these guys, hits like Up All Night and Fly to the Angels, I can't imagine being more proud of anything than writing those songs. Now, for me, on the other end, I necessarily didn't write any of these mega hits, but I have created a lot of music that I'm super proud of. And it doesn't even matter if it is a hit or not. I'm just really proud that it exists and that I got that story out of my head, So it's kind of it's like a double-edged sword, I have to approach it from the creative side and the performing side.
Okay. No,
because my other project is Cloud 10. It's just a band that my brother and I do. It's just the two of us,
and it's great. Everyone needs to check them out.
Yes.
Thank you. But so we just we've only released 2 songs so far, and I'm as proud of those 2 songs as anything I've done in my career. I love them. And the fact that I get to do them with my brother makes it even better. But then, like I said, on the performing side, getting out and doing something like this, that doesn't get any better than that,
For sure. Love that. So this one you actually kind of alluded to in one of your answers previously, but specifically, what kind of advice or recommendations do you have for aspiring artists attempting to make it in the industry today, particularly those who are unsure of the best way to get started and put themselves out there?
Okay. Well, yes. Like I said before, in the end, you just have to remember that you're doing it because you love it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it for fame. Don't do it for money. Don't do it for notoriety. Don't do it for any other reason than you want to and you love to do it. That is all that matters. That's why every single one of us got into it. There's not one musician who started because they didn't love music, you know. And same thing with any field, right? If you want to be an actor or an actress because you love acting, right? And you're inspired by other movies or plays or whatever it is. I was inspired by other musicians. I love it. That's why I keep doing it. So number one is just never forget that you're doing it because you love it. Don't do it for the wrong reasons. That's number one. As far as like how to get started and whatnot, I mean, there's many people that are self-taught. I was taught from day one. I took lessons from the moment I got my first drum set. So I'm definitely an advocate for getting lessons, but that's not always an option. Luckily, though, when I started, YouTube didn't exist, right? There was no online stuff. None of that was around. Now, with YouTube and Google and all these different online lesson sites, you can kind of pick up things left and right that wasn't possible back when I started. So there's a million approaches to how you want to do it. But I think it is important to have someone guiding you, whether it's an actual teacher or just some online stuff that you're reading just to get ideas and how to do things. Because I think that's a good thing to do in any aspect of life, getting guidance. I mean, I don't think that there's any career in the world that you don't need to learn from someone else to do. It's at least some part of it, So getting some form of guidance, whether it's online or in person or whatever, I think is a good choice. But in the end, all that matters is, do you like playing? Do you love playing? Then just do it. Doesn't matter if it becomes a career or not. Just do it because you have fun doing it.
All right. What is one thing about this band that you would like more of your fans to know?
That I would like more of the fans to know. That I'm the oldest and original member and I wrote all the... No, I'm kidding.
This is the Jordan show.
No. It is the exact opposite. Honestly, you know what? I mean, people who know this band do, or people who know the guys already know this. I'm not saying anything that people don't know, but when I came on, from day one, they didn't know me from a hole in the wall. First time I played with these guys, I was just a fill-in. And over time, gradually, became home. But from day one, despite not knowing me at all, they treated me like family. And if there's anything that the world should know about the rest of the guys in this band and crew, is that they are the kindest, nicest people on the planet. Listen, I'm not saying it just to... I'm not trying to, kiss ass here. It is the truth. These guys took me in and treated me like family, not knowing me at all. And it's something that I will never forget. It's one thing to be able to say that you play with a successful band. It's another thing to say that when you came in, you became family with them. And that's what this band is. This band really is family. Every single person in this band and crew and extended family, there's genuine love. And so if there's anything I want the world to know, it's that these guys are they're some of the best people I've ever met. That's the truth.
Love that. Love it. What is the best way you have found to diffuse conflict with bandmates, crew personnel, venue staff, etc. in situations where tensions are running high?
Just let them know that I'm always right and that's all that there is.
Done.
No, I mean, well, see, that's the thing is that honestly, like with this band, there's not
Right.
much drama.
I mean, we have seen
you're
you
saying like going into a situation with a level head prevents that in the first place? No.
It can.
We have seen you guys, being privileged the way we are to catch as many different sound checks and things like that, kind of be here early and see the start to finish. It's not always pretty every single time.
No.
And we watch you guys navigate all kinds of different scenarios. I have heard jokes about it just needs some duct tape and bubble gum. Right?
Sometimes it does.
Just roll with it. So, I mean...
Well, listen, that's all you can do. And not even, listen, it's not even just with bands, with anything in life. I think you can't let a problem seem like it's larger than life, right? There's always things that could be worse, right? If we're having a bad day because, a piece of gear isn't working or something like that, if you look at the big picture in life, that piece of gear malfunctioning in that moment, is that really something that matters at the end of the day? We'll get it sorted, and everybody here has been through it 1,000 times and knows that these things happen. And so you just get into a mode. It's like, all right, if there's an issue, how do we fix it? And just start doing it. This complaining about it doesn't help. Solving the problem, that's the key. What do we have to do to make it work? But at the end of the day, you just got to always say to yourself, like, is this really worth me losing my mind over? There's too many other real issues with life that can be happening both on the business side and the personal side to let things like that just get in the way. It's just the way it is.
Sure.
Yeah. What elements would you say are key to a lasting, successful musical career?
Truth be told, I would say it's not so much about talent or musical ability. I mean, obviously you want to develop as much musical ability as you can, but at the end of the day, people, like I said, this band is a family. People want to work with people that they enjoy being around, because when you do something like this, you're living with each other. That's the way it is. You're living, as a family, whether you're on planes all day together or you're on a bus all day together or whatever it is, however, a van, however you're traveling, you spend every day with each other. You spend so much time with each other, to the point where you spend more time with each other than you do with your actual, families. So at the end, people want to work with people that they enjoy being around. So honestly, just being a down-to-earth person, being personable and, just being able to be comfortable hanging around with people and spending your day with other people and accepting that, every human being in the world has their own little quirks. Everyone does. I do. You guys definitely do. Everybody does. We all do, right? There's no doubt about it. But if you can accept that other people have quirks and you can move on past them and you can understand that you're all on the same team, that's it. That's everything. It matters, honestly, to me, that matters more than if this person is a virtuoso, whatever instrument player. Obviously, you want people to be able to play well and do their job, but at the end of the day, you're living with these people. You want to make sure that you get along and that you can just hang together. And that's something that I think as people are getting started, they don't really think about that much. They think more just about like the musical ability.
Yeah.
But the more you do it, the more that matters to you, because you're spending every waking second with these people. Every second. And that's why it's so nice, like I said, with this band, that we all just get along that well,
And we can definitely see it too, like with other interviews that we've done, the guys that really truly have that brotherhood, it comes through, and like they joke and they cut up, and they're having a good time, versus like, we have done some interviews where it's almost like everybody kind of operates in their own little bubble almost,
Yeah. Now, if you're insulting each other, you love each other. Yeah. That's the way it goes. Yeah, that's how it is.
So I'm pretty sure we already know the answer to this one, but who is the biggest joker or prankster of the bunch?
I have to hear what you think.
Spit it out.
About yay tall.
I hope he hears that part of this. I hope, Blando, if you listen to this interview, I hope you hear that section. They just called you short.
I mean, he still got me beat, so which isn't hard.
No, that's definitely accurate. Blando is definitely. It's
He's
funny.
He's fast ones on us before.
Well, I think again, that's what makes this band is fun, because I think everybody in this band has their own way of being a jokester or a prankster, and you guys have been privy to so many stories, right, of things that Mark did in the day, dressing up as what did he dress up as a panda bear or something, right? Right.
To go see Ted Nugent.
To go see Ted Nugent, right. So everybody in this band has done some really funny, wacky things, right? But I think, yes, in general, as far as consistency goes, Blando's definitely he's the jokester, prankster for sure. Absolutely.
I mean, he has straight up been like, Roger, what's that on your shirt?
And he's done
he's done the nose thing.
My gosh.
Yep.
There you go.
What is the one main impression you want to leave your fans with and hope will always be a part of your musical legacy?
Pure insanity.
I
want people to know that something's rattling around in this head. Something's rattling around in there. I don't know.
You do play the drums with your feet at some point during the shows, usually.
Not
and
just
it's musical.
Right.
It's in time.
For those of you who have not seen Jordan, we are not, of course, just talking about your standard kicks, right? No. He'll put his foot on the cymbal, right?
It's
that's
wonderful.
what we're talking about.
Listen, I got 4 limbs. I got to find ways to use them. No, I mean, honestly, for me, it's really just, I just want people to leave saying that was one of the most fun nights they've had. That's what I want to do. I want people to leave saying that was incredibly fun. I mean, obviously, some songs are more emotional, right, and with a deeper connection. But in general, I want people to leave saying that was an amazing rock show. That was so fun. And I want them to be inspired. If we can go on stage and some kid leaves inspired to go buy an instrument, that's like the greatest thing ever. There's nothing cooler than that. Hearing that somebody, whether it's a kid, an adult, whoever it is, send us a message and say, it doesn't matter what instrument it is. I saw you guys play and I went home and the next day I bought a bass or a drum set or whatever it is. If they were inspired to do something musically because of our show, that's the coolest thing ever. But beyond that, I just want people to leave saying that was super fun. That's it.
Love it. So, any additional fun facts or stories you would like to share with us? And if not, do you have any recommendations concerning additions we must include on our concert bucket list?
Oh, stories. Fun stories. I mean, how much time you got? No,
as long as you do.
I mean, more as far as the concerts go. Well, here's the thing with you guys. As far as concerts for you to go see, I don't know who you haven't seen.
That's
you guys
okay.
have seen more
you
shows
go and
than
suggest
me.
something, and we'll tell you. Oh yeah,
we're
too.
missing some of the big ones. So some of the common ones that we've heard are things like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, things like that. He was told Ghost the other day when we asked Brett.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, I told you I'm a mega Seven Dust fan, so I will always encourage a Seven Dust show.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We saw them.
Did they play louder than live?
It was phenomenal.
Awesome. Love them.
So I'll vouch for them.
I would definitely say Alice in Chains.
Okay.
If you haven't seen them. And I'm going to go... I want to try and think of something a little different. Not just like the typical big rock band answers. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay. All right.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's killer show. Amazing. That's a worthwhile one. So yeah, I would add those to the list.
Okay. We'll remember that. Earth,
Yeah,
Wind, and Fire.
absolutely.
Great studio stuff. I've listened to some of it.
Oh yeah, man. Killer show. Killer.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for taking your time to sit down and talk with us today. We really appreciate it. And be sure to check out slaughterusa.com/tour for all the locations you can catch these guys in 2025. And if you happen to be in Uncasville, Connecticut area, come on out to the Mohegan Sun Arena this evening. Festivities begin at 7 p.m. and we promise their show is one you do not want to miss.
Yes, especially with all of Jordan's fun drum solo antics. And thank you as always to our listeners tuning in today for this episode of Melissa and Roger's Wildlife. We hope you'll join us again soon. Be safe out there and remember to be excellent to each other. Much love to you all, and we'll see you next time.